Alright, I figured I would try to get a little bit of machining sort of content in. A couple of things came from Amazon. A new gear wrench, one of the 3/8 inch equivalent ones. I had well, let's just say a malfunction with the last one, and it met with a very gruesome end. So I finally broke down and got me a replacement for it, because this just happens to be one of those ratchet sets that I have, well, up in a convenient spot that's out and readily accessible to use throughout the garage. So I figured it would be a good thing to get a replacement of that. And one of the other things is, since I'm kind of hoping to gear up to do some threading eventually, one's like, oh, god damn it. That didn't go as planned. Anyways, since I plan on doing some threading in the future, preferably without poking a hole in the end of my finger, I broke down and got me a set of these thread wires. A couple weeks back, Craig of Craig's Workshop was doing a video, and he was doing some threading that was trapped temporarily, so he wasn't able to check it with, just screwing on a nut or screwing on a mating part. And it dawned on me that a person could conceivably take a nut, and well, my idea was take a nut that fits the threads and cut it, I don't know, say just a little bit over 50%, so that it would kind of snap over the thread that you were trying to cut. And then, of course, Craig came back with an even better idea. Just cut one in half and mic the outside dimensions of that. So then somebody else chimed in later and put us on to, what was his name? Stephen? I think another Australian fella who's got a YouTube channel, and he actually took and made, I don't know what he made them out of, but he made some threading wires that kind of had a little bit of a spring curlicue thing at the back. Basically, he was able to take all three of them and just kind of hold them at the back, and very easily, very simply apply them to, the thread that he was trying to measure. So, of course, that got me thinking that a person could take, something like some very fine, some thin washers, and maybe some thin washers, spacers, whatever you want to call it, and a small 1032 bolt or something, and make something similar, because, well, I wouldn't have the skill to do what Chris did. So anyways, it kind of got me thinking, well, heck, I ought to just get me a set of these things and tinker with it. So that's one of the things that I've kind of got in the plan for the future. Man, it still freaking hurts. It's like getting a splinter up underneath your fingernail. So anyways, that's something I'm thinking about doing in the future. Of course, now that these things poked my finger, I may be too aggravated with them to even ever touch them again, but we'll see. Well, let's see, what else was on the agenda? Now that I'm half scared to touch the things. So I do have some additional ideas as far as tinkering with this thing. I mean, I like the idea of keeping this curvature, and perhaps future iterations I'll go back to the curvature, but I think for now, what I'm probably going to go to is something along the lines of drilling a 7/8 inch diameter hole up here, and a pair of 1/4-inch holes down here, and basically just throwing it on the mill and running an end mill up to connect the holes and clearing out that material. The bottom line is I just want to move this project forward because I've got bigger fish to fry. One of the things that I ultimately need to get around to doing is drilling through here and coming down and drilling and tapping this area here. So I need to just get this material out of here and move on, because I've got an even better version of this tap wrench handle that I'm eager to get to, but you know, baby steps. There's always so many other tools to make and so many procedures to rig up before I can actually get from one stage of the project to another. So that's the direction I'm going with that. And I'm hoping that the next generation of this tap wrench handle I might be able to make in such a way that I like it well enough that I can put it into the tool making competition. So that's kind of why I'm in a little bit of a rush on that, is I still have things that I need to practice on this one before I can actually move on to the other one, or the next one. So the only other thing that I can think of is I've got this guy finalized, and it's just sitting in the garage right now gluing up. I've just put wood glue on these little little strips here to see if it'll be enough to adhere it or not. I don't know if those will fall out or not, so we'll see. It's we'll give it a test drive and see how it works out. Hopefully in the nights to come I'll get an opportunity to get the 8-inch telescope out and see how it works. So anyways, I think that's more than enough babbling for tonight, so I'll let you guys go, and hopefully I'll have something interesting to actually show you in the next coming days.